Chuck Carstensen, Remax Results. A quick live video that we'll share on YouTube with a real estate update. Wanted to keep you up to date on things happening in the market and the economy. So with today's title, and I have a really long title, so hopefully you can quickly digest that. But for example, while I'm doing this video, is I read a headline that in March, pending sales were down 15.7%. So what's that mean to somebody who just reads headlines and doesn't go any deeper or isn't even sure what that means? For one, 15.7% drop in pending sales means year over year, last year in March, or at least it normally does, in this case it did, last year in March compared to 2020 March, there's 15.7% less sales. Now, a smart person would realize, based on everything going on in the world, that's very likely. Sales are going to be a little bit down, less people are buying. I bet most people think sales are even down lower. What it does not mean, though, is that the prices that people are getting are down 15.7%. Year over year, in a lot of the areas we work, prices are still up 3 to 5%. So prices, appreciation's up a little bit, normal appreciation's 3%. So we're seeing currently normal appreciation. It's just the amount of sales are down. So you might also think, well, that means the market's going to drop. If sales are down, eventually the prices will drop. Here's the reason why sales are down. There's so many less sellers coming on the market, or they're coming on the market slowly or waiting for this to end. So there's less for sale, less homes to buy. Obviously, there's people that are out of a job, and if you're collecting unemployment, you're not able to buy a home right now, so less people can buy. But because there's less listings and less buyers, there's simply less sales, but the supply and demand is fairly equal, so the prices are staying the same or showing a normal appreciation. So that's something to understand about headlines, and that's why you got to go deeper, because any news headlines that you hear now, they're not going to be like real estate is still appreciating. They're going to show the negative stats. And 50 to 70% of people are going to be like, oh, it's all negative. And the economy is negative. I get it. There is a recession happening, coming, whatever, we're in it or it's going to happen. But for real estate, it's going to be different. All my videos I've shared so far, it's going to be different for real estate, at least in Minnesota, in most pockets. Yes, it may be different for real estate in New York or Arizona or Las Vegas. But in Minnesota, it's different than those areas. So you gotta listen and pay attention to somebody who's an expert, somebody who can advise you, not your neighbor who sells 3 houses a year, who doesn't pay attention and understand these things. You have to listen to an expert and understand what the headlines mean, and understand every headline that comes out there is probably going to be negative, but it's not all negative, and you just got to understand this. So wanted to point that out. That's what headlines mean. They're meant to be negative on the news, but some of it just is what it is, and then there's positives within that as far as real estate goes. So always reach out with any questions you have for us. Carstensen team, Remax Results, happy to help you. Thanks a lot.